Hey everybody, it's Karyn Bryant for MMA H.E.A.T. I'm talking with Aljamain Sterling, who apparently is on a victory lap. Where are you right now, my friend?
I am at Lily's RVC in Rockville Center.
Nice. Well, I see that you're in a good mood. You had a great victory over Brett Johns at UFC Atlantic City. I want to talk to you about that for sure. But earlier today, I know you did have to go get some x-rays. So what did you find out? What were they looking at and what did you find out?
It's not broken, which is good. So they said maybe 1 to 2 weeks of just healing up and taking it easy. I tried to ditch the crutches, but they told me it's probably better to use the crutches because the more weight I take off it, the faster it'll heal.
Right.
And I was trying to be the macho man. I never iced my injuries. I think a lot of athletes do that, which is like their own detriment, to their healing process. So he told me use the crutches, and I was like, all right. He's a Jamaican doctor too, so I was like, all right, I trust you.
All right, well, good. You bring this up. We're going to get to the Jamaica stuff for sure in just a bit. But so, do you remember at the point in the fight that you injured yourself?
Yeah, the very first round, I think within a minute and 30 seconds, I threw an inside leg kick, and I hit his knee with my left foot. And it was a good kick, but I knew I felt it right away. I heard like a crack, like a crunching sound, and I felt it. I felt like it was loud. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if he saw it or noticed it, but I was like, yeah, that hurt. I'm probably not going to throw this for a couple more minutes because I need to be able to use my footwork for the rest of the fight and use this weapon a couple more times.
Nice. Well, you talk about afterwards, you say you're the best grappler in the division. So obviously I feel like that was part of your game plan going in. So maybe the foot wasn't as much of an issue in this fight as it could have been in another?
Yeah. But the main thing is I use a lot of footwork in my fights.
Yeah.
A lot of lateral motion, a lot of feints, half steps, feint steps, crossing over my stance, pivoting. So for me to take away my left foot and not have that mobility, it would have taken away a lot of that offense or a lot of my fakes to set up my takedown attempts. So I definitely needed that. Not so much to really attack, but good thing it was it didn't affect me too bad, so I was able to still get off a lot of my combinations. If you can't fake and you can't put weight on the foot, it's hard to shoot. It's hard to get good power.
Right.
It's hard to just do a lot of things, changing direction. You're a lot slower without that extra spring in that foot.
Cool. Well, you've been doing well lately. You won the last 3 out of 4, right?
Last 3 out of 4 fights, yes.
That's right. Before that, you had a little bit of a hiccup. You dropped a couple. So what do you think is changing for you? What's working for you these days? What's going right for you?
I think the fight before Brett Johns was literally just that, a hiccup. I had a mental lapse where I completely abandoned the game plan, and I got too greedy too soon without setting up my takedown. I didn't use any feints whatsoever. I just shot in. I just shot a naked takedown. And the same thing, I used a lot of feints in this fight with Brett Johns, and he tried to throw a flying knee, but he couldn't time it the right way because of the feints that I was using, and he ended up hitting my chest with it. Pretty similar to the same thing with Marlon. He'd do a switch kick, but he wasn't timing a takedown attempt. He just threw a switch kick, and me not throwing any feints, I shot right into it because I didn't use a feint to try to draw out his attack.
Right.
If I drew out his attack first, that is a completely different situation, completely different fight. And I honestly, God, really do feel like I would have gotten that fight back to the ground, and there would have been a good chance I probably submit him or at least do the same thing I did to Brett Johns to him.
Got it. So what would you do to Dominick then? Because a lot of times people put a name out there. Well, actually, too many times people don't have a name. You actually had a very specific name, and you had a name that a lot of people went, hold on now. And a lot of people are going to criticize and say that you're not quite ready for Dominick. He's a former champion. You talk about your footwork. Dominick, is the footwork guy. So why do you think now in your career you're ready to face somebody like Dominick?
Well, that's just that. I fought all the top guys for the most part in this division. Whenever I got the opportunity to, I think I was a little young when those opportunities presented itself. I was very heavily influenced with doing the wrong things, as in listening to the media and letting them impact my game instead of being who I am now and just doing me and doing what I do best. And that's just bringing the funk, being innovative when I'm in there, and just kind of fighting off the feel of what my opponent is giving me and not trying to force the issue of certain things too much and too often. I'm a veteran now. I said this a lot in my post-fight, my pre-fight interviews leading up to the Brett Johns fight. He's a young buck. He's talented. He's going to be back. He's going to be, the future of the division. But right now, it's my time. I put my work in. I put my hours in. And I got the experience. That was my 10th UFC fight. You know, that says something. You know, I reached a 10-fight mark, and can't take anything away from experience, and especially having youth on my side. I think I learned a lot in the octagon. I've learned from my losses. I think the losses have helped me grow into the guy that I am today. And I think every single fight I show huge leaps and bounds of improvements in my overall game. So I think if there's any time to get Cruz, it's now, before people can start saying, oh, you got him on the downside of his career. He lost 2 fights. Well, actually one. He lost one. He lost to Cody Garbrandt, and that was it. Yeah. You know? And I think he changed his game plan. That was the only reason why he really lost that fight to Cody. I think he changed completely how he fought everybody else, where he was being the matador. I think I got the perfect style that would nullify his game. He's not fighting another striker who's not looking to take him down. He fought Faber, but Faber uses the one same setup all the time, overhand right, level change into a takedown. Shut it down, and he outclassed him, I think, pretty much every single time he fought, besides the second fight that they had, which was really close. But they actually had 3 fights. So the first fight he lost, the second fight it was pretty close, but he controlled it, the tempo of the fight, and the third fight, pretty much outclassed him. So that's where I'm at. You know, I'm a very cerebral fighter, very much like him. Yeah. I just think I just think I'm just as smart as he is, as good as of a fight breakdown analyst that he is a fighter. Yeah. I think I could do the same exact thing, and I think if not, I do it better because I have a new way of looking at the fights, and I'm open to different styles. And I think I can imitate any single body. You know, my coaches we always break balls with each other because I can go and imitate anybody, you know, and do any type of fight style. And I could be Anderson Silva, or I could be Machida, or I could be Cody Garbrandt, or I could be TJ and doing all the fake stuff. I could do all of that. Right. So I like to pride myself that I'm a student of the game.
And so when you talk about, though, being able to do all those styles then, and when you just mentioned a moment ago kind of tuning out some of the noise and being really who you are. So if you can be all these things, does that just all come together to be the Funk Master? Like, if I were to describe you to somebody, I know you said you're the best grappler in the division, but when I look at you, I don't only think of that, right? So if I had to explain to somebody who Aljamain Sterling is as a fighter, what would you want me to say?
I'm going to say he's an improviser. You know, I think that's the best way. You just never know what I'm going to bring to the table. One minute it looks like I'm striking. It looks like I'm boxing. 1 minute it looks like I'm kicking. 1 minute it looks like I might be hurt. Or 1 minute I'm using my ringmanship and it looks like I'm not trying to engage. And next thing you know, I explode and I'm in the clinch or I'm in on your legs. So you just really never know what's going to happen. And when guys think they're controlling the fight, I'm really setting something up. And they don't really have any idea. And the main thing about that is sometimes I don't even have an idea of where I'm going. Right. It just I just play off the field, and whatever presents itself, I manage to turn bad situations into good situations. And I think that has helped me a lot in my wrestling career. And I think that has helped me a lot in my early MMA career, my early UFC career, and to where I am today and how much I've developed over the time. My coaches say it all the time. Believe in yourself, believe in your skill set, and just show everybody who you are, and good things are going to happen. Yeah.
Well, Dominick would be an incredible fight. What do you think the odds are of getting Dom, and if not Dom, working your way up? Obviously, we know Cody and TJ are going to have a rematch. So, how soon can you fight, and how soon do you think something like that could become a reality?
I think if Dom is willing to oblige, let's do it in July. Yeah. I think let's do it in July. Why not? My thing is, what's going to happen with the landscape of this division with Marlon and Moraes fighting? The winner of that is more than likely going to be the next title challenge. Right. If Dom decides to wait, what is he going to fight? The winner of that? Because the UFC has its ways of doing things the way they want to do it, regardless of what they told you that they're going to do. So you're either going to stay busy or you're going to let Father Time keep catching up to you. Yeah. And if he were to get a fight with me, he wins. He solidifies his spot as, I beat another top 10 guy. I am the guy still for this rematch. And if he loses, then now we have another issue where we got to shake it up between me and the winner of Marlon and Rivera. And if Marlon wins, then maybe he gets the next title shot, and then I fight Jimmy or something. But I think that's his best case scenario, because other than that, TJ and Garbrandt are gonna fight in August. Yeah. And then they're probably not gonna fight again until maybe July, maybe December. Maybe. Yeah. And that's on the best case scenario. And if not, they might not fight till 2019. So if you got Marlon, the winner of Marlon and Rivera, the landscape is very, very muddied right now in terms of who's going to get that next shot after that. So I think this would be the wise choice for him to stay busy and take a chance. You know, I'm all about shooting my shot, and I'm going to shoot my shot. So Dominick Cruz, if you're ready, let's get down, man. I think there's a lot of candy-ass bantamweights out there.
Yeah.
I don't know if they smell what the Funk Master is cooking. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. I love it. I love it. Well, I do love Dominick. I work with him a lot. He's a great guy. But that would be an incredible feather in your cap if you were able, to get that fight. And if you could beat somebody like Dominick, that would be something really special. So I hope you get the fight. I'd love to see it. I do want to ask you about one of your teammates, though, who recently got an incredible fight. Of course, Iaquinta. It didn't go his way in the fight with Khabib, but what was that whole? What did you make of that whole situation? And just sort of the fallout after it now about how people are either saying Khabib's not a real champ, or some people are giving Al a lot more credit, and some people are kind of busting on Al a little bit these days.
I can't see how anybody could bust on Al. Took a fight on a day's notice.
Yeah.
He fought the guy who everyone says unbeatable, undefeated, the best stylistic grappler who's made Barbosa look like nothing. He's made Rafael dos Anjos look like nothing, who's fighting for an interim title. Mm-hmm. So you got this undefeatable guy that at least people perceive to be untouchable, and he made him look human. He didn't train at all for a style of defensive wrestling, how to keeping the fight on the feet. We didn't watch any tape within 24 hours. We just went out there and said, we're going to just fight this guy, make it a fight, and go out there and see what happens. If we can put one on his chin, we're going to shock the world again. And that's pretty much what we went out there and tried to do. He had 3 rounds in him, and even in the 4th round, he still defended a lot of takedowns, and that was the 3rd and 4th round was his best rounds. 5th round, most of the damage was done in the 5th round with just jabs. You know what I mean? So he didn't have that extra gear to turn it up a notch, to really go and push forward for that finish. So I think Kevin Lee said it best. Kevin and him, Al, have their disagreements here and there for obvious reasons. But I think Kevin gave him credit without actually trying to give him credit by saying, he beat a guy on 1 day's notice who wasn't even training for that. He was training for a 3-round fight, and he gave him all he can handle. So imagine what happens if Al was actually training for that fight. It's a completely different fight, in my personal opinion. But Khabib's the best for a reason, But I think Al let the world know, and the division know, why he's as good as we believe him to be. Yeah. And it was a crazy weekend. We were all super proud of him, and couldn't be happier with his performance.
Yeah, I'm a huge Al Iaquinta fan. I have been ever since The Ultimate Fighter. Now, are you doing real estate with him as well?
I just finished my online course. I have to take my online exam, and then I have to schedule my state exam, and then I'll be officially licensed and able to sell actual real estate in New York State. But right now, I just kind of bring the money together. So if you got some money, you know somebody that got some money, we can make a deal happen and flip a house. That's as far as it goes for there, or we can do a buy and hold and do a long-term investment like that. But outside of that, I can't take people to go see a house and sell a house to people like that.
Now, you did actually say something on Twitter. You wanted to go somewhere, and you said something about not spending your money stupidly.
Yeah.
So what's that about then? You're trying to take a bigger vacation, but you can't afford it right now? What's going on with that?
Well, they were saying, you haven't seen your mom in 20 years. You make good money. Why don't you go see her, your grandma? And in my head, and they don't really understand. I'm like, it's not like I don't get paid a ton of money to just go taking trips whenever I can. At the end of the day, if I'm a guest fighter, the UFC covers that, So, of course, I'm going to do that. And then while I'm already over there, why not make a trip out of it and go see my grandma, who's only a couple of hours away, since I'm already going to be in England.
Nice.
That's the best. That's the best case scenario. I get to travel the world. I've been to Australia already. I've been to Poland.
Yes.
And these are expenses paid. This is one of the benefits of being within the UFC, which is something I'm truly grateful for. So I'm just doing the right thing. Make sure I'm saving my money, not blowing it crazy. I don't got that Conor McGregor money yet. Hopefully one day that'll come and make it Funk Master money.
Yeah, I get it. I hear you. No, well, so listen, that brings up a good point because, it's funny. Somebody was giving me grief the other day when you were about to fight, And I said, hey, anytime I see somebody with a Jamaican flag going to the octagon, I got to stand up. I got to give him props. This is nothing against Brett Johns. So this is something that you and I have spoken about, and some other fighters. So I know that trying to grow the sport of MMA in Jamaica is important to you. Why is that, and what kind of mission are you really on with that?
You know what? They're trying their best to build up the sport down in Jamaica. I went down there after my Barral fight in August, and it was a big eye opener to see like what the landscape was really like. I spoke to Randy Brown about it.
Yeah,
he went down there, did the same thing, did a couple of free seminars. That's what I went down there to do. And they train on these puzzle piece mats. Okay. It's like the hardest thing. So you're doing takedowns, you're slamming each other, you're beating the crap out of your body, and it's just not ideal for trying to really improve your skills, hone your skills, and become high-level athletes to make your way to the UFC. So, we're trying to figure out financially feasible ways for us to bring mats down there and make it the most efficient way, where it's low cost, low maintenance, not trying to get like a building where we have to pay for the overhead and you got to charge everybody all this kind of money just to go there on a monthly basis. So we're trying to look at houses where we could get a house, or maybe where one of these guys already live, build the second floor and just mat out the walls, mat out the floors, and maybe have a few handbags and just make it somewhere where they can really train, keep it an open space, easy, low maintenance, and this way people have places to go and get a workout in and really like do some seminars and help build the sport. It's not much grappling. They got a lot of striking, taekwondo, boxing. That IQ is pretty high, but the grappling aspect is pretty much non-existent, but it was cool for me to get down there and show them a lot of my tricks, a lot of stuff that I do. But a lot of the stuff I was showing is like, we need to have the fundamental basis beforehand to really implement and understand what I'm showing. So hopefully we can get that going. I think if we can get a couple more wins, I think it's a very realistic thing that we could get going for sure. I think Dana and everybody would be into it.
Well, this is the thing. I'm definitely into it. I've talked to Uriah about it. He's into it. I know you just mentioned Wood Boy. I know he's down, right? Isn't Leon Edwards also Jamaican over in England? Hey, cheers. I feel like there's maybe like 4 or 5 of you guys in the UFC right now.
Me, Uriah Hall, Randy Brown, Patrick Williams. I know he just lost his last fight. I think he lost 2 in a row, so I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. But yes, those are the only 3 guys that I know right now that are. And Leon Edwards, I think.
Leon Edwards, exactly, yeah. So it's interesting because you were talking about, Usain Bolt, obviously such a big deal. And if you could be something equivalent to that, like when you already know, you've already done those seminars, and when you're here in the States or wherever you are fighting, what kind of support are you getting from the island, and what kind of like feedback do you get from people who see you as a representative of the sport for Jamaicans?
I'm sorry, it's starting to get a little loud.
Oh, no, it's cool. No, I was just curious what kind of response and feedback you're getting from Jamaicans who already are able to see you watch, and, when they're so aware of how much of a statement you're trying to make in the name of the island.
Huge response from the Jamaican fans and the Jamaicans all across the country. You know, there's not a lot of jobs down there, so there's a lot of people who go abroad. They go to college, get their degree, their education abroad. And then they come back home. But most of the times, a lot of those guys don't go back home. So, there's a lot of Jamaican blood just running around internationally. And the people that are in Jamaica that I got to make the connections with, they're very receptive, very responsive of everything. They back me every single time I go out to fight. And I think it's a cool feeling. When I went down there, I got a lot of love. It was a great feeling to know, there's people really backing you and rooting for you. So this was a big one for them. They saw the last one, and that one was kind of a heartbreaker because that was the one that could have put me right there for the title shot. And it wasn't just a loss; it was a bad loss. And them seeing me come back and get a dominant performance, I think it shows them anything's possible no matter what type of adversity you're going through. Just hold your head and keep pushing, and good things can happen. Never stop believing in yourself and never stop doubting. Never let the doubters come in there and keep you down. You keep pushing, and good things are gonna happen. At the end of the day, you know what you're worth. If you're putting the time in, good things come to those who put the work in. And I got a motto: put in work, cash out. So I'm showing that day in and day out.
Nice. It's awesome. Well, my mom is the one who's Jamaican, still travels on a Jamaican passport and everything. And she was just there last week or so. I didn't get to go, but she just went. So I'm trying to go back too. So I hope we could organize something. All of us go down. We film some stuff, do some stuff. Like it would be amazing. I would love to do that so much. So we really need to try to make this happen.
Yes. The guy that I'm in contact with, his name is Daniel. He's a professor at one of the colleges. Okay. I think it's UE. He's done a great job of running the MMA Federation down there. He helps take guys around to the other Caribbean islands or to Russia and other places for sambo competitions and things like that. He's done a great job of just being around to take me around when I was down there. So, we go down there, we'll have a guy who's very well known. He knows everybody down there.
Cool.
So it's a very good connection to have, and good people, just a good down-to-earth dude. And he's really the guy who's trying to steer it the right way and trying to get everything built up the right way. So hopefully, and he knows it's not about the money right now. It's just getting the talent developed so we can really get some, there's a lot of talented guys down there, super strong, super fast athletes down there. They just, if they just get a little bit of skill or someone down there to help develop their skills, I should say, good things are really going to happen. I think the MMA scene can really, really explode and take off down there.
Cool. Well, that would be great. Well, I'm going to let you get back to your celebrating with your friends. I know the last time you were out here in LA, I was trying to take you to a Jamaican restaurant so we could hang out and talk. So the next time you're here, we're going to have to definitely go do that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Awesome. I need a big plate of oxtail.
Yes. I like a curry goat. I'm not going to lie. I do. All right, well, Aljamain, thank you so much for taking the time out of happy hour here to catch up a little bit, and congrats again on such a great win.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.